everybody. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. This is Mike Phillip filling in once again for Dr. Peter Glidden. October 31st, 2014. It's Halloween, and I'm dressed up as a fill-in radio show host. Call-in line is 844-374-5433. Once again, 844-374-5433. Now, I've been getting emails coming out of the pipeline here. I guess I should say the grapevine. There's been people trying to get a hold of me, and they got the wrong email address. Now, this is specifically aimed at you Americans, okay? My email address is mike@teamglidden.ca. If you put .com at the end of that, it's going to go to a lady in Seattle who is sick and tired of getting emails that are meant for me. So, mike@teamglidden.ca. And if you want to get involved in this grassroots coalition of the willing, coalition of the informed, people that are tired of seeing their friends, community, and family get sick and die slowly at home or in the hospital as though they were being slowly tortured to death, get a hold of me and let's get together. Let's figure out a way out of this, because I've had enough. And that's the reason why I'm here. Now, I'd like to start this show off by asking you a very simple question. Are you a sucker? Huh? Are you a sucker? Okay, when you're at the grocery store and you reach for that can of tomato soup that happens to have a pink ribbon on it, do you feel all good and warm and fuzzy inside because you think that you're doing something good for society, and specifically breast cancer? Let me ask you again. Are you a sucker? Now, October has been officially named by the Susan G. Komen Foundation Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, I think we were already aware that there was a disease called breast cancer. But the fact is, when you go and buy products that have a pink ribbon on it, is that actually doing something to solve the problem? Or did you just get to walk away feeling like you're such a good person because you're lazy and you didn't actually do anything? Well, I got a clip from Russia Today talking about just that. And we're going to play that now. Let's roll the clip. Listen up.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Pink ribbons and pink products are flooding the marketplace. But how much of the money from pink products actually end up at the organizations that fight the disease?
The pink ribbon is unregulated. Anyone can put it on anything, and they do. And some products bear pink ribbons and donate no money to any breast cancer program. Others donate mere pennies on the dollar.
Karuna Jagger is the executive director of Breast Cancer Action. They launched a campaign called Think Before You Pink that calls for companies who take part in breast cancer fundraising to be transparent. Susan G. Komen, one of the largest breast cancer organizations in the U.S., popularized the pale pink for breast cancer. Komen raises a lot of its donations through corporate sponsorships who sell pink products known as cause marketing. Carrie Glasscock, Komen's director of corporate relations, explains how her organization helps consumers see which products are actually contributing to breast cancer research.
With Susan G. Komen's corporate partners, our official corporate partners, you will always be able to tell right there on the packaging when you're making your purchasing decision that it's Susan G. Komen on, clearly listed on the packaging as the beneficiary. You'll also be able to tell exactly how much of your purchase is going back to the organization, what the company is donating back to Susan G. Komen.
One of the biggest Pinktober marketing campaigns is in a male-dominated industry. During the month of Pinktober, the NFL has teamed up with the American Cancer Society in their campaign, A Crucial Catch, where you can catch the players, the coaches, and referees all wearing pink products on the field. The NFL is also selling pink merchandise, where a percentage of the proceeds go towards breast cancer research. However, we found that only 8% of that actually goes towards that research. According to research by the Business Insider, only 8% of money spent on pink NFL merchandise is actually going towards cancer research. The retailer, often the individual team, keeps 50%. I asked a few Washington Redskins players what they think of this. What percentage of the proceeds from the NFL Pink products are going towards breast cancer research?
I'm not really sure.
No. What percentage do you think would you expect?
At least half.
At least half?
At least half.
Would you be surprised to know that only 8% is actually going towards the research?
That is kind of shocking. That's news to me.
The NFL makes enough money every year to, donate everything they make for this, and, I think all of it should go, personally.
While the NFL has recently undergone some scrutiny for donating a small percentage to the cause, it seems to be on par with other cause marketing campaigns. Even Susan G. Komen, which claims to be the seal of approval for consumers.
A standard that we work with is 10% of the retail sales price.
The NFL also claims it's raising awareness for breast cancer. But Karuna says we're a nation that is already aware of breast cancer, and it's time we focus on finding a cure.
NFL is making billions of dollars off of Pink Ribbon products, and we would like to see the money that they are spending on their marketing campaign to reach out to women actually go to do some good for the women that they claim to care about.
Breast Cancer Action also warns against pink washers, which are organizations that sell products in the name of breast cancer that contain harmful chemicals linked to causing breast cancer. Looks like many companies see pink as the new green. In Washington, D.C., Perry Unboring, RT.
So there you have it. 8% goes to research. 50% goes to the organization. In the case of the NFL, and we're talking billions with a B, billions of dollars. And I'm sure that they've got it actuated out to an actual percentage of people that, the fact that they think they're doing something about breast cancer might just tip the scales in favor of them making that purchase. Why, you ask? Because they get to walk away feeling all good, like they actually did something. But the fact is, you're lazy and you're ignorant. Sorry. Facts are facts. Now here's the deal. Dr. Joel Wallach sued the FDA in order to get a qualified state health statement to be able to say legally that 200 micrograms of selenium per day would reduce the incidence of breast cancer 86%. And guess what? He didn't wear a pink ribbon when he did it. And apparently you can slap a pink ribbon or pink paint on anything. Now, this is funny, okay? I mean, breast cancer is no laughing matter. But this story is funny. I mean, this is from EcoWatch.com. Pink washing. Fracking company teams up with Susan G. Komen to end breast cancer forever. Right? We're going to frack to end breast cancer. Isn't that funny? So what they're going to do, Susan G. Komen has teamed up with Baker Hughes. Okay? And what they're doing is they're going to make pink drill bits for fracking. Okay? And these drill bits are going to come in a pink box, and it's going to go to a lease where they're drilling to frack, and some roughneck somewhere is going to open up that box, the pink box, and there's an information sheet on breast cancer that's going to go to a roughneck in the middle of nowhere. I mean, who's he going to tell about this? A caribou? And I'll tell you what, I used to work on the drilling rigs. I was a roughneck. And I'll tell you what your average roughneck's going to say. What the F is this? They don't care, okay? They're out there to get their job done and make a paycheck. Now, the largest breast cancer organization in America, with more than 100,000 volunteers and partnerships in more than 50 countries, has teamed up with Baker Hughes, one of the world's largest oil field service companies, with employees in more than 80 countries. Susan G. Komen hands out pink ribbons for breast cancer awareness, and Baker Hughes fracks. So there you have it, a pink fracking drill head. Now, let me ask you again, are you a sucker? The NFL is making billions off of your uninformed choices because you think you're doing something good when the fact is you're doing nothing. And I'll just bet you, none of these researchers will look into minerals and vitamins. They will not look into nutrifying your body to fight this. But it doesn't end there. So October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, now you're aware of that. Hasn't helped yet, but, you're aware of it. But don't worry, because November has been officially deemed Movember. You grow a mustache to gain awareness of men's health issues. So if you grow a mustache, people around you are going to know exactly what to do. And this is out of Global Toronto. During Movember, or the month previously known as November, thousands of men across the country will start clean-shaven and grow their mustache for 30 days, getting friends, family, and colleagues to join their team and donate to their mo-growing efforts. Meanwhile, women, or mo-sisters, some of which probably have a mustache too, I'm guessing, will act as ambassadors and help spread the word about men's health. It's about caring about your dad, uncle, father, son, husband, said Pete Bombacki, country director of Movember Canada. The movement keeps growing because people are increasingly understanding it's not just the mustache, but about helping each other and becoming more involved and aware about men's health. Well, how are you going to get involved if you don't even know what you're doing? For 3 years in a row, Canada was among the top fundraisers in the world in raising money for Movember, an annual campaign that aims to increase awareness and engagement about men's health, with a particular focus on prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's mental health. Last year alone, the country raised more than $33.9 million, bringing the total to $151.6 million since Canada first became officially involved in the Movember movement in 2007. Now, I want you to remember those numbers because I'm going to show you just in a little bit how little of that is actually used for anything that probably doesn't work in the first place. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to talk to Hattie in Chicago after this. We are live. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on this Halloween, October 31st, 2014. Call-in line is 844-374-5433. And we are going to go over to Hattie in Chicago. How you doing, Hattie?
Hi, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right, Hattie. I've talked to you before, haven't I?
You know what? We most certainly have.
Yes, we have. So tell me how you're doing today.
Well, I'm doing phenomenal. I have a client of mine whose mother is in the hospital, and she wanted to talk to you. And I was just about to conference her in.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Absolutely. Yeah, conference her in. I'd love to talk to her. Apparently we're having a little bit of dead air here, folks. We're just waiting for Hattie in Chicago to patch in her friend who's in the hospital. Can you still hear me, Hattie? No, Hattie's busy. Okay. So before the break, we were talking about Movember. And I got some numbers for you that are going to blow your mind. People are being tricked into paying all these charitable organizations to absolutely do nothing. And it's just crazy. Hattie, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Unfortunately,
Okay.
Anyway, she just called me and told me that her mother was rushed to the hospital and that she had fluid on her lungs. And they tried to give her medications, and her kidneys started acting crazy. So, anyway, she wanted to talk to you. And so I didn't get a lot of details from her because I wanted her to talk to you, but I can't get her on the other line.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. Let's just talk a little bit about lung health, okay, Hattie?
Okay.
Here's the deal. You're talking to a guy who had major lung problems my whole life. I mean, summer camp was the worst time ever for me because I had asthma and, it was terrible. I laid in my cabin while all the other kids were running in and out telling me how great archery and canoeing and stuff was. And I struggled to breathe for like a week. And my mother, God bless her, she read somewhere that inhalers were bad for your heart. So she wouldn't let me have an inhaler at that time. So as a result, summer camp was just awful. But, lung health is no laughing matter. And there's a lot of people that are struggling with it these days. Now, lungs absolutely need essential fatty and amino acids. Okay? So what I would do if I was your friend is I would get her mother on the EFA Plus. Now, I don't know this woman or how much she weighs, but speaking as somebody who used to have lung problems that are absolutely gone, I mean, if things were the way they were before, you could probably hear me wheezing over the air. And, yeah, I take about 15 EFAs a day, and I don't have any problems with my lungs. Okay, now the other side of this is selenium. Now, before the break, we were talking about breast cancer and selenium, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for the lungs. Your lungs crave selenium. So, it's a mineral deficiency and an amino and fatty acid deficiency, and this is something that should be easy to get on the other side of. But the moron doctors just want to shoot more and more drugs at people and basically just keep them going long enough to pay the bill, and then they don't want nothing to do with you after that. And you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Hattie?
Yes.
Yeah, so this woman, I would get her on a healthy brain and heart pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight, and I would definitely up the EFAs if they can get extra amino and fatty acids into this lady. I predict that will go a long way to helping her out with her lung health. So I'm not allowed to say that amino and fatty acids cure lungs, and I'm not allowed to say selenium cures lungs. But, so I'm not saying it, but I'm, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right?
Right.
So, Hattie.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you? You said you're fantastic. Tell me your story.
Well, I'm a longevity. I love longevity.
Hattie, wait a minute. I hear the music. That means we're going to a break. Can I hold you over to the other side? We're going to talk to Hattie on the other side of this break. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be right back. Buddy, we're back. Mike Phillip filling in once again for Dr. Peter Glidden. The call-in line is 844-374-5433. And you can contact me if you want to get involved in the party here at Longevity. Mike at teamglidden.ca is my email address. And before the break, we were talking to Hattie in Chicago, and I love Chicago. It's such a great town. I've had some of the best times of my life in Chicago, albeit few and far in between, but my family is from there, and I'm really liking Hattie. Hattie, you sound like a really chipper, upbeat person. And before we ran out of time. I'm a slave to the clock, just like anybody else. But you were talking about how things have been going with you, and I would like for everybody to hear what's happened with Hattie. So go ahead, Hattie.
Well, Mike, I'm a holistic practitioner here in Chicago.
Awesome.
And my whole thing is all about healing, because I agree that we don't have to suffer the way that we are.
Nope.
And when I ran into Dr. Wallace, I was just totally blown away, because for the first time, when you understand that you can give the body everything that it needs, and you don't have to worry about becoming a victim of getting cancer, high blood, diabetes, heart disease, fibromyalgia, any of that madness, that is so liberating.
It is. You know what? I'm glad you said that, Hattie, because it is liberating, because I remember a time when I used to spend my life worrying about, do I have lung cancer? Do I have a heart problem? And, it's just, fear ruins your immune system. Fear changes your whole body chemistry. And when you get the right information and put it into practice, just like you said, it's liberating. You don't have to live in fear of all these diseases that are constantly, you look into mainstream media and they're constantly talking about all these different diseases that you can get, and the medical system's going bankrupt, and it just makes you think, well, what am I going to do? Right? But boom, you find out the right information, you put it in your hands and put it into practice, and you don't have anything to be afraid of. health-wise. So what have you seen since you got involved with the work of Dr. Joel Wallach, Hattie?
Well, you know, if people don't, a lot of people really truly just don't believe that it's easy, because we try to make healthcare complicated.
Yep.
But my clients, within a couple weeks to a month, who are, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure becomes a non-issue. And it's so funny because when their blood pressure comes down, right, they call me and they frantic. Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter? I said, well, what's up, man? Well, my blood pressure, it's like 112 over 70. I said, man, but it's never been this low. I said, I know, but it's all good, man.
I know, and it's funny, too, because you'll get people that'll contact you in the first place, and they're so worried about their blood pressure or diabetes, and you get working with them for a little while, and it doesn't take long most of the time, and, you know, they'll get rid of the blood pressure, the diabetes, or the bone and joint pain's gone, and then they'll phone you up, and they'll be like, hey, my toe hurts. How come? If this stuff works so good. And you're like, okay, well, what good has happened for you? And they're like, oh, well, I got over the diabetes and I got over the blood pressure. And but, you know, it's so, you know, you got to spend a lot of time with the people that you're dealing with. And you know that better than anybody, being a holistic health practitioner in the city of Chicago. And so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
Yep. So it's, you know, and to me, the amount of times in the last 3 years that I've seen people absolutely kick blood sugar issues to the curb, it's like, you know, I got to be careful, because when somebody tells me they've got diabetes, I'm like, oh, that's great. Right? Because I know how to get rid of it, right? And you know, we don't heal anything. We don't cure anything. And you know, we have to be really careful with our wording. And that says something about freedom of speech right there. But the fact is, you can do it. You got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And the fact is, there is hope out there. And if you're out there listening, take it from me and take it from Hattie here. You don't have to live in fear. And it's not just for you. It's for your mom. It's for your dad. It's for your kids. Anybody around you. So, yeah. What else? What happened with you, Hattie? Did you overcome anything big, or were you basically healthy when you started?
You know, I was basically healthy when I started. However, every year I would always get a really bad cold.
Yep.
You know, that would last about a week or so. Not immune. I mean, just madness. Now I have not had a cold. I haven't gotten sick in so long. I don't even think about it. But the thing is, if I feel something coming on, I'll just take a little bit of colloidal silver and it's gone.
I'm a big fan of colloidal silver.
Oh, I love it, man. I tell you, right now I'm encouraging everybody to get on some colloidal silver right now before the weather breaks.
Okay, be honest with me, Hattie. You went and got the flu vaccine, didn't you?
Hell no. Excuse me. No.
Hell no. That was quick.
I don't believe in vaccines.
No. Are you an insider with Dr. Glidden, Hattie?
I most certainly am.
Did you watch the first part of the vaccine webinars last night?
You know, I didn't. I did get an email, but I was out and about, so I didn't do it. But I knew I would go back in it later and check it out, so.
Oh, you got to watch it. It was great. It was absolutely great. Dr. Glidden is a genius, and I'm really proud to call that man my friend, and I've learned so much from him. And like I said, we had so many health problems. You'd need to be born with 6 fingers on both hands to count them on your hands, right? Just with what we had in this household here. And there is no problem that you cannot overcome with the right information. But you have to be able to put that information into practice, right? Like, faith can move mountains, but are you willing to pick up a shovel? You know, you got to be willing to do something.
You know, Mike, just one last thing, and because I think this is really important, because as an adult population, our adult population is very sick, and one of the things I explain to parents in particular is this: if you're sick, you're teaching your children to be sick. And
you know what? You're totally right.
You know, and so sometimes it's not just about you doing the right thing; it's about you helping your children and their legacy. be healthier.
You're absolutely right. It's about being strong and standing up and giving that example. And you've run into this too, Hattie, and so have I, where you'll run into people that claim they want to get better, but in fact, they hold their illness close to them because it's just like Stockholm Syndrome, where you identify with your captor after a while, and they love their disease. They get into social situations, and everybody's happy, and they have to, well, my doctor said my numbers are getting worse. You know what I mean? And they just suck all the air out of the room. So, stop it, get on track, find out what you need to get over it, and teach your children to be healthy and strong, and let's rebuild America. And that's enough for my inspirational speech, Hattie. Hattie, thank you so much for calling in.
Michael, thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Maybe I'll run into you at a Longevity conference one of these days.
Yes.
All right.
Bye,
Take care,
thank
Hattie.
you.
We're going to let you go, and we're going to jump over to Diana in California. Diana, how you doing?
Hey there. How you doing?
Hey there. I'm doing well. Now, you sound just as happy as Hattie.
Yay. Longevity Nation.
Yeah, you betcha.
Yes. We are insiders with Dr. Glidden, and we are totally on board with longevity and have had the most amazing experience and transformations in our life, my husband and I both. And my husband's actually a chiropractor out here in California. And, we've met Dr. Glidden at conventions and so on and so forth. But a few weeks ago, he had a situation where the side of his neck, his salivary gland, became very inflamed and swollen. Mm-hmm. And he was in excruciating pain. We went in to get a CAT scan, and it showed that he had a 1 centimeter stone blocking the duct.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to, it's just so kind of like weird and ironic that he was in so much pain. So they extracted it, they got it out, and there was a big bad strep infection behind it. So they're treating that. But, we've been on the products for almost 2 years now, and Healthy Start 2.0, selenium, some glucogel, all the good stuff, pollen burst. So we're just kind of in shock, and we want to know if you guys know,
you're thinking to yourself, how could this happen? I take everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. So, stones in the salivatory glands can be referred to as, what do they call it? Salivary calculus, they call it. That's, like Dr. Glidden likes to say, fancy schmancy doctor talk.
Yeah.
So whenever you see a buildup or a deposit of calcium anywhere, and it sounds counterintuitive, but that points to a calcium deficiency. So how much of the OsteoFX is your husband taking per day?
Yeah, he takes about a capful in the morning in an ounce of orange juice, as how Dr. Glidden recommends it for absorbency, and one at night.
Yeah, so I'm guessing your husband weighs about 200 pounds.
Right, a little bit less, actually.
A little bit less. Okay, Now, Diana, I'm going to refer back to a similar situation that happened with me and my wife. Same thing. We were taking everything just like we were supposed to. And after about a year, she developed stage 1 hypertension. And, same thing, high blood pressure, calcium deficiency. I got a hold of Dr. Glidden, and he said to actually double up on it. And so we did that, and we were able to clear up the problem. Now, you'll be trucking along with longevity, and you're using everything per body weight, the correct amounts that Dr. Wallach will tell you to use, and things can still crop up. And the fact of the matter is, we need massive amounts. So if you find things like this happening, all you do is refer back to what Dr. Glidden or Dr. Wallach talks about the cause of it, and you hit it harder. Okay? So what I would suggest to do if you're finding that happening, if it were me, I would take an extra ounce of OsteoFX per day. Now, as far as the infection goes, just have him take the plant-derived minerals and hold it in his mouth as long as he possibly can. Okay?
Straight up?
Yep, straight up. An ounce of it. Hold it in his mouth. And don't tell me he doesn't like the taste, because I hate hearing that. Okay?
It's just bath water.
Yeah, it's not tasty, okay? I heard Dr. Glidden describe it as water that's been in a garden hose in the sun with a dead mouse in it. Diana, wait right there. We're going to come back to you. I'm going to put you on hold. This is Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to go talk with Princess Diana in California after these messages. Welcome back. We're live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. October 31st, 2014. Halloween. I used to love Halloween when I was a kid. It was my favorite time of year. Well, one of them anyways. I mean, Christmas. There's the presents, right? But, Diana, I was thinking during the break. Now, if he can't do that with the plant-derived minerals, okay. Now, to battle the infection, the colloidal silver can go a long way to fighting infection. And same thing, if he can take that and hold it in his mouth as long as possible, it's gonna absorb into his body really fast. And those salivatory glands are right there. So chances are that'll knock out the infection and the inflammation and pain really quickly. Have you guys tried that?
No, I haven't, but I actually have that, and I use it on a little fungus that I have.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So. Does it work?
You know, I feel like my nail lifting, and I feel like a little bit of pain in that area, so I think it's getting it. I just wasn't sure how many times I'm supposed to apply. I've been applying it twice a day.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about colloidal silver, and people are kind of scared of it, right? Like, it's funny because, you know, I talk to people on a regular basis who are on 20 different drugs, and I tell them about colloidal silver, and they're like, oh, you got to be careful with that, right? So
yeah, right.
they're on all these pharmaceuticals that have been proven to kill people, that they're so scared of turning blue, which is the absolute worst thing that's going to happen from colloidal silver. But I'll tell you this, in my neck of the woods, and, you know, I live in a little town that nobody's ever heard of, and around here, a lot of people actually make their own colloidal silver, and I have never, ever once heard of somebody turning blue. Now, if I ever get an infection, which does not happen anymore, it used to, but it doesn't happen anymore, I just grab the bottle and drink it straight out of the bottle. I'll just grab a mouthful, hold it in my mouth so it absorbs into the body through underneath the tongue, or I'll apply it topically with a spray bottle or whatever the case might be, and it absolutely knocks out any infection I've ever had. So, you know, what I have found is the plant-derived minerals, if a person doubles up on what they're using, it totally wipes out infections. So the fact that he's got calcium deposits forming tells me that he's not getting quite enough, and I would use just a little more of the OsteoFX, up that a bit. See, here's the deal. You start out with longevity, and you overcome a myriad of health issues. That does not mean that things can't crop up in the future, and that's why it's prudent for a person, you know, to become an insider and learn as much as they possibly can by listening to the show every day. See, I'm just like you. You know what I mean? I listen to the show every day. I'm an insider. I put these things into practice with people around me, and I watch and I learn, right? So, you know, from everything I've learned.
You learn something new every day, yeah.
You do, that's right. And if you ever stop learning, well, I don't know. That's a bad sign, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah, if I was you, Diana, I would give him an extra ounce a day of the OsteoFX. And for the infection, to knock it out, I would use the plant-derived minerals and colloidal silver, and that should take care of it pretty quick.
Yes, both like separately though. So because I add plant-derived minerals to our BTT every day. I add it to it, and then so gargle with it, hold it under his tongue, and the plant and the colloidal silver both.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I mean, there's already silver in the plant-derived minerals. Okay. So it's not going to hurt to double up on it, but the fact is, you want those silver molecules to hit that infection directly. So, holding it in the mouth, I believe, would go a long way towards that. Diana, we got a hard break coming up. I can let you go, or I can hold you over to the other side if you got more things you want to talk about.
I'm gonna let you go help other people. Thank you so much, Mike.
Diana, you take care of yourself. Thanks so much for calling. This is Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We got a hard break, but we'll be back after this.